It's not that they think the church is bad, but they see too much hypocrisy. The people are telling them this and this is the truth, but what they're living, something totally different.
Mainstream churches may have their differences when it comes to doctrine, but they're all facing pretty much the same problem. Young people no longer want to sit in the pews.
That disconnect between the truth of the religion and the way we're living our lives, that's the greatest challenge that all religion is facing right now. Because if we're not willing to live the truth as disciples, the young people are not going to be willing to follow and to continue moving along with us.
In the Catholic Church's draft pastoral plan released in 2018, its mass attendance summary noted young adults represent the smallest portion of persons attending weekend mass. That's because those numbers represented only 35% of the entire congregation who attended weekend masses were only 24 years or younger. In other words, the future of the church weren't filling the pews. And the hierarchy of churches across TNT has reasons to believe this is widespread. In the modern world, many factors come under the microscope, none more than technology.
The youth population are high-tech. You know, we've gone past chalk and duster. So sometimes our preaching, our teaching, we try to be technicolor. We use the phone, we use the WhatsApp, we use Instagram, we use all the various models and so on.
These generations are so different from all the generations that have gone before. And that's what we're all struggling with. Because these generations, and I think in the Pentecostal churches, they're struggling with these generations also. These generations have been born with a rapid transformation of technology. And technology, every time there's a big shift in technology, there's a shift in human consciousness.
When it comes to this topic, the Catholic Church is not only at the center of attention because of its falling youth numbers, but many of its doctrinal teachings seem to misalign with Generation Z, the millennials. Your Grace, does your church have too much rules?
Can I ask you that question?
Staying within the boundaries of Catholicism has proven to be a tough task for many young people. And when the rules are broken, the church finds it hard to forgive. For instance, unless a marriage has been annulled, a spouse cannot remarry and receive communion in the church. Chastity is also one of the church's main teachings, and it is firmly against abortion.
I think the Catholic Church is, as hypocritical as it is, their rules are very rigid. And I think young people don't like that. So I think that sees the rise of a lot of these smaller churches where they tweak the rules, where you are allowed to do these things, you're allowed to go here, and then you come back on Sunday and we absolve you of your sin, and then Monday you go and you do that again. Because I think everybody wants something to believe in.
Call it rigid or call it stubborn, the Catholic Church's teachings have been the rule of law for centuries. And Archbishop Gordon insists the rules aren't the problem, but rather the way it is taught.
So the rules are there really to help people to become the best version of themselves. What we don't have enough of, however, is people who can explain why the rule is important and explain why this is vital and explain how this is integral to being a Christian and explain why this is going to be important for the way that you live.
But at a time when youths are scolded for wanting to reinvent the way Christianity is done, the head of the Roman Catholic Church believes they bring something to the table never seen before.
What they're asking of us is something that we haven't come up to yet. And I actually don't think the youth are a problem. I think they're amazing. I think they have vitality, they have energy. They're not taking nonsense. They don't want it fake. They want it absolutely real. And if you're not prepared for real, they're not prepared for you.
Young people may be the subject of much criticism these days, but Archbishop Gordon sees a sense of realness in this generation that challenges the church to do some deep self-reflection.
I believe this generation, I love them. I just love them because they're going to make us honest. They're going to make us truthful. They're going to make us disciples. They're going to make us do all the things we should have been doing anyhow without them. Or we're going to lose them.
When we lose them, however, it can be a wider problem for society. The Catholic head feels there is a direct correlation between drop in church numbers and the rise in crime across TNT.
As religion and its influence diminishes, corruption, violence, and all these negative things are going to increase. Because what holds people in check, generally, from doing real foolishness? Either your mother, society, or God. And if your mother no longer has influence on you, and society is ambivalent about values now, and God is really a distant something that is disconnecting, then there will be no real or easy restraint on an individual.
To deal with these declining numbers among youth, one Pentecostal church has gone to the extreme to try to win back young people. They've taken the church out of church.
We don't have a church building. We have our service at Movie Town, Cinema One, which offers a big screen, which offers the technology, which offers all kind of different stuff that we can do to appeal to the younger generation. That is critical.
Yup, it's church at Movie Town in Port of Spain. And for the critics, the Reverend reminds them,
the church is the people, not the building.
so I ventured to Movie Town on a Sunday morning to experience this service for myself. It really is a remarkable but unique experience. It's everything like when you visit the movies, except when you enter the theater, it looks something like this. This is what Reverend Hamilton's church looks like. A theater transformed into a place of worship for 3 hours on a Sunday morning. And it's not just one theater, but two. The other houses the church's Sunday school session for children. The big screen here blasts the day's gospel reading along with the main points of his message. The popcorn may be missing, but a lot of young people are visible in the congregation. And Reverend Hamilton holds the attention of his following from center stage.
Release our young people. Their music you may not understand. When they go into all that, I don't know what they are saying, but let them sing. When Jewel and they start to dance and do the, I'm a Caribbean Christian, I cannot make those moves, but let them dance.
I stuck around after the service to get a feel of the congregation. How it feels to go to church where you hang out. Do the visuals and everything else, the theater settings, sort of encourage you to come? Do you like that?
Yes, and it also brings a big crowd because it has a lot of seating space for everyone and everyone enjoys coming, you know, so you could see pastor preaching in front of the stage and you have the big screen where you could see everything.
Now, what's it like to come to church at Movie Town?
I mean, it's a comfortable environment. At first, it was a little bit different, a little bit strange, different context, but I think it's more what happens in the building, in the space, that matters more than where you're at sometimes. And for me, it's been tremendous, edifying, really encouraging.
I love it. I love it. It's up to date and it deals with everyday situations.
So you teach Sunday school here, so tell me that experience of bringing young people into Movie Town for church on a Sunday.
Oh, well, they have a blast. They love the colors. It's so beautiful. But the main point of us is teaching them about God, to love God and to love our country.
How does Movie Town help that?
Yes, they gravitate to it because of the colors and it's a popular place to be. So they like coming here.
It is bold initiatives like this one that seem to put the Pentecostal church ahead of the pack. Is the Pentecostal church a church for 2019, for the 21st century, and that's where other churches are lacking?
Many churches, and I'm going into business models now, many churches still operate with a bureaucratic model of governance. What we try to articulate is that we should have an open system perspective. And with the open system perspective, you have boundaries, but the boundaries are not so tight because you have the input.
That input the Reverend speaks of has become more and more critical as the congregations get younger.
So if we're going to be taking the 20th, 21st century context and culture seriously, we have to be appreciating the feedback loop. What are people saying? What are the concerns? What are the needs? Rather than have these fixed religious frames that really could become outdated and irrelevant.
As a layperson, Ramon holds to that belief. The location of the church may change, but the structure of it forever remains the same.
Any organization, you have your mission and your vision statement, and that is the foundation of how you go forward. So as you continue to grow and you develop, you ensure that any new thing that you do, it stays in line with your mission and your vision. It stays in line with your core goals and values.
Ramon feels youths will regain confidence in churches when it examines itself and practices what is preached on the pulpit.
Our core belief and our core mission is to ensure that whoever is within the family, that they are taken care of, they are cared for, not just your spiritual concerns, but your economic, your financial concerns. There's just the way you live, what's happening within your marriage, what's happening with your children, their education. So we're supposed to take you as literally. I call you brother, you are literally my brother. It's not a title.
The Catholic Church is also looking to expand on this service to its congregation through what it terms the 3 H's: hymns, hospitality, and homilies. The homily is of particular interest because that is the message of the Catholic Mass. How it is communicated in this era is of significant importance.
We have to look at the homily. Is the homily reverberating with the soul of our people? Are the hymns meaningful and sung well? Is the hospitality welcoming and encouraging people not only to come, but to come back a second time? We have to do that work, and that's on the external.
In a time when the world is already moving so fast, Reverend Hamilton has challenged himself and those working for the Pentecostal Assembly to think beyond the present.
We have organized ourselves. It's like you have a baby coming, but you have no preparation. So, as I say to the church where I am pastoring, it says, let's staff for growth, not because of growth. So you anticipate, okay, if this is going to happen, is this going to happen? How do you proactively anticipate the thing there?
Coming up, how televangelism turned the tables on traditional Christianity across TNT. Next.
You'll draw the wife, you'll draw the husband,